Grateful for everyone for coming tonight, and I'd like to give you just a little bit of brief history about the boat, and but I think it would be safe to say we should all start off by saying a great thanks to Joe and Crystal, who unfortunately, as you all know, is not here tonight. But being out on the San Juan Islands, cruising out there right now, I think he probably is enjoying himself, and he knows that we'll be enjoying ourselves tonight. But it's very nice and we're very grateful to Joe and Crystal for what they've done with this boat, and thank you. Yep. So this project came to us in a lot of different ways, but essentially I spoke with Joe Loughborough and with Dick Thursby and with Peter Gerard. And a number of people let us know that this boat was out and was in Portsmouth and was looking like it needed to be picked up, and the ball needed to be taken and run with it, because, as you all know, we have Sonny and have enjoyed sailing Sonny, but Joe was very keen to have another boat sailing in the fleet, and he had the wherewithal and the enthusiasm for a project to get involved. So Brian McKenna and his crew with Joe Loughborough and Dan Roden and everybody, Jim Thompson, they'd all done a tremendous amount of work on Skylark, and we were very lucky to get the boat certainly well along in a full restoration. But as you all know, and is that when you do a restoration like this, the project is not finished till it's finished, and we found that there was a tremendous amount of work that was still had to be done. So from our perspective, the team at East Passage Boat Rides, who we've worked with over this, Seth and Carter and Nick and Terry, who are all here tonight, I think I would like to everyone to put their hands together and congratulate them. Because this is a true testament to a great crew and a great team, and I think the boat is shining today because of the result of all those guys. Now, just a little bit of information. As you may or may not know, this boat was built in 1938, and it was launched at Pendleton's, which was a small yard up in Wiscasset, Maine. And it was actually launched at the same time as a boat called When and If. When and If is a 63-foot schooner that belonged to General George S. Patton. And they were built side by side, and they were launched in the same year. And so it's quite interesting because both those boats, you know, were at the time, if you can imagine a small boatyard up in Maine, it was a very prestigious thing to be building these two boats together at that time, between the World War I and World War II. So they were very busy, and when it was launched, it was actually called Vryling 2, and she was launched for a Judge Denham, who was a Massachusetts judge. So the boat spent, after its launch, it spent the war years up in the Great Lakes, and then from the Great Lakes it went around to the West Coast, where it became the flagship for the Los Angeles Yacht Club. And the Commodore Dan Ayers, who owned the boat, he was the Commodore of the Los Angeles Yacht Club, and he campaigned the boat through the 40s and the 50s over several owners, but primarily through Dan Ayers. And during that time it raced the Transpac race 4 times. And it did very well on the Transpac race. Its last Transpac race, which was in 1959, 350 miles from the finish of the race, they lost their main mast, and they were leading at the time. So it was disappointing for the Skylark crew because they were that close to doing very well. Lost the mast, and they still finished respectably well in the middle of the fleet. But it was a great experience. The boat did its 5th Transpac actually in the 70s. When a family from San Francisco, Bob and Kirsty Hanelt, owned the boat for the whole of the 1970s. And during that period of time, they sailed the boat around the planet. They ended up doing a circumnavigation on the boat. And I've actually gotten to know them quite well. And they've shared with me a lot of stories on sailing the boat around the world. And they actually have a website, although I wish I could recite for you the website. But they have a website, and they have a lot of great video footage taken in the 70s of the boat sailing around the world. So from the 70s to the 80s, the boat ended up coming back to the East Coast and was in Florida for a number of years, and sailed in the Caribbean and Florida in the 80s, and then made its way up to New England. So the boat has a wonderful history, I think, and it's just great to have all this have a boat that has such an incredible amount of history, and now we're standing back on it again, and we can enjoy it for another 72 years. But once again, I think we're here tonight to celebrate the rebirth of a beautiful yacht that's going to be around for a long time, and we certainly hope to keep it here in the Newport area. The whole objective of the program was to try and put this boat back out there sailing in the Newport fleet if it was at all possible. I'm sure there's plenty of people in California who'd like to see it back in that area, but we would love to see the boat built in New England stay in this area. So if any of you out there happen to know anyone that might be interested in a beautiful 53-foot sailboat, we would love to hear from you. But without further ado, my daughter Claire is going to rechristen the yacht Skylark, and hopefully we'll get it done in one swing, right? All right. So, all right. So you say, "God bless this yacht and all that sail on her." That's what you say just before you hit the bottle. All right. Hold on to the head. Stay up here like this with your left hand, and then you got to swing it pretty hard, okay? So you're gonna have to pretty hard. So God bless. Yeah, this yacht and all that sail on her. Whoa! Try and hit the bronze.
Hit the bronze. Hit the bronze. Now wood.
Hey! So the bar is open. Enjoy the night. It's a beautiful night, and please feel free to come and have a look on board and have a great night.
Well said, Simon. Well done. Well done.
Good job. Well done.